Greetings, JobStream family. Adonis McReynolds here with Jess Seitz, my co-founder and co-host on this podcast. And today we are bringing a subject to you that is absolutely vital for your success in the workplace. You hear about it all the time from coaches and from job search experts all over the place. We certainly don't hold it to the same value as they do, but it certainly is valuable, and that is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is your brand today. It has replaced the resume in terms of its importance, and I think to prove that, every single person who goes through a job application process is basically sharing their LinkedIn with somebody else. And if you don't have a LinkedIn, especially for specific types of services like technology or marketing or other types of things, you're probably not going to be very seriously considered, because that's just the world that we live in today. LinkedIn is a huge part of that process. And so today we're going to talk about how to build and optimize a great LinkedIn profile. Jess does this very, very well. She works with our clients on making sure that they get what they need. You could be a job seeker or you could be a business owner. The need to develop a great LinkedIn is absolutely essential. So Jess and I, we hope that we're modeling the way, right? We both have really good LinkedIn profiles to get a lot of connections, and we're constantly doing things on LinkedIn. We're living on the app. So if you don't have a LinkedIn, it's time to get one. It's probably good just for the sake of having that social media in your pocket and learning how to use it and optimize it. And if you do have a LinkedIn and you're just not confident about it, this is the video for you, so you can take your game to the next level. So with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And while I'm sharing it, Jess, did you have any thoughts on what I'm saying?
My thoughts are that I fully agree with you. It's literally like your digital real estate, because even if you send a resume, which you should still do, 9 out of 10 times, if not like 9.999 out of 10 times, the next step is the recruiter or the hiring manager is going to go check your LinkedIn. They're going to Google you, and your LinkedIn profile should be coming up first. Unless you have like a bunch of other like websites and stuff, it will usually be your LinkedIn profile, especially for job seekers. So you really want to make sure that is sealing the deal, because if you have a decent resume and they actually like caught their attention, you want your LinkedIn to like stand out even more to really like seal that deal. So it's super important. Like, you will be losing out on jobs if you don't have a good LinkedIn. And as a business owner, you would possibly be losing out on business as well. I would say as a business owner, maybe you can get away with, you need to have a LinkedIn regardless, but maybe you can get away with posting less or whatever. I wouldn't suggest doing that, but just because, you're focusing on clients. But as a person who's seeking a job, it's really not a negotiable. Like, you absolutely do need to have a good LinkedIn.
Well said. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Let me know when you can see it. Jess, can you see it?
Not right yet, but I'm sure it'll come through in just
a
second.
Here we go. I'm actually going to share it right now. Here we go. Okay.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at Jessica, and you're looking at her LinkedIn profile. I think there's a lot of good things that we can take away from it. And the first thing that I want to point out is the banner. Right? The banner is one of the first things that you see on the screen on top of like the profile picture. These two are photos, but they're photos that really correlate with what Jess is ultimately communicating. Having a LinkedIn profile that matches with your mission, your goals, and really just kind of expresses you authentically is the first step to creating a great LinkedIn profile. Now, here's a tip. If you have a really nice smile, smile. Right? Like, I say this a lot to people, and it may sound kind of cliche, but like, your smile, if you have a really nice smile, there's no good reason why you shouldn't have it on LinkedIn. So by all means, try to see if you can find a professional headshot where you're smiling in it, where you're radiating the joy that comes through just being you, right? Being authentically you. Now, this banner right here really tells a story, right? It tells a story about like what Jess is doing. She's helping people with landing a job in 90 days or less. I have the same banner on my profile. We're essentially kind of doing the same thing. We're co-founders. So when it comes down to it, you want your banner to kind of state something about you, right? If you're an applicant for a job, you should have a banner that really kind of expresses who you are. If you've got a beautiful family, why not have them on your banner? If you don't want to post your family on your banner, what are you excited about? What are you passionate about? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do? What matters to you? Your banner should definitely kind of point to that, because it's you. This profile is all about who you are and what you're bringing to the world, right? So this again, in terms of optimizing a LinkedIn, comes a little bit later in our process. So if you're like thinking, when should I optimize my LinkedIn in such a fashion? We typically have several steps that we would have a person do before they actually start optimizing their LinkedIn. So for more on that, you can see our other YouTube video, 7 steps of landing your dream job, or even in the other video that we created for business owners, 7 steps to winning more clients as a business owner. So we do have steps laid out, and LinkedIn kind of falls within that 4th or 5th step. So next we're going to turn to what Jess has as her headline, right? The headline of a LinkedIn profile is really specific. It should be really specific. It should have a semblance of an offer included. There should be a sense in which a person understands what they're going to get from connecting with you, right? Having the title like on your LinkedIn headline, which is pretty popular, like if you're an account executive or a VP of sales or something, saying that you're saying that you're that is good, but you got to have something additional. You can't just have your title as a headline and expect that people are going to really understand you or really like fully get you without having to do a lot of deep digging, right? So you want ideally your headline to tell a good part of your story and to really kind of get people thinking about what you're offering. The big thing for Jess here is she's empowering job seekers, right? So that's like kind of first and foremost why we first launched JobStream AI, was to help job seekers find work. This obviously translated into helping companies with growing as well, but also we help people land high-paying jobs in 90 days or less. These are 2 offers kind of included in this headline that are important. And if she didn't have these, I guarantee like her connection rates and impact on this channel would probably be less. What do you say, Jess?
Yeah, absolutely. The point of your headline is you wanted to answer the question, like, what's in it for them? How do you help them? So that's what you should be thinking when you're trying to write it. So even if you're a job seeker, like clearly you have value, like you're valuable for a reason. You bring a set of skills. So you want it to communicate. Like, let's say you're an accountant and you're amazing with numbers and you know you can save a company like 10% in their taxes every year. So you could write that in your headline, like helping XYZ companies like cut their like tax rate by 10% or cut the amount of taxes they need to pay. Whatever it is that you bring, that value, that skill, you really want it to answer the question of how am I helping this person? What is it that I bring to the table? That's what your headline should serve. And on top of that, it is a little bit SEO. So you do want to add some keywords for the relevant job. So if you're an accountant looking for accounting jobs, then you definitely do want to say accountant at some point. That's why I have the word job seekers in there. High paying jobs, those are SEO keywords that people are searching for. So it's a little bit of both, but number 1 is how you help people and why you're valuable. And number 2, think about SEO a little bit in your headline as well.
Very good. Yeah, a little SEO bonus for you with Jess's advice there. So moving down the list, your information, your basic information is usually featured on LinkedIn. You kind of want to keep that up to date. It's funny, I say that because, Jess, you're no longer living in Canada, right?
Yeah, but I do it for a reason though, because
Sure.
I'm looking for only clients based in Canada and the US. So I do not want to update to where I live because for SEO purposes, that would hurt it.
Sure.
And there is just a level of trust, like that's just how the world works. So if they think that I'm like living in another country, they will probably think I'm a native from that country, and then that level of trust is harder because
Sure.
most people do want native English speakers. Like I know it's unfortunate and it sucks because obviously there's so many talented, amazing people that don't speak English as a first language, but for the price points that we offer, so that is strategic for me. But I would say definitely keep it up to date, but there is a reason why I haven't changed it.
Yeah, gotcha. No, good advice there too, because yeah, you got to be cognizant of your target audience. If there's a sense in which they might think something that's untrue of you because of a location, that's something to keep in mind as you're putting your location. But ultimately, she has her school here. That's pretty common. Most people put their school. The place that they work obviously matches with like the headline here. As you scroll down a little bit, you see that she's well connected on here, 500 plus connections. Ideally, if you're creating a LinkedIn account, you want to get your connections to over 500 or more. This shows that you use the platform and doesn't discourage recruiters from reaching out to you. Because, like, let's say a recruiter is looking at your account, but then they see that you only have, like, 100 connections. The immediate conclusion that can be drawn from that recruiter or from that business is that you just don't really use LinkedIn. So why message you there? They might feel more inclined to try and email you, or they might feel more inclined to just pass on you entirely because maybe they're looking for someone who's using LinkedIn a little bit more regularly. So just a little bit of a heads up, keep your connections at 500 plus ideally. And if you're not there yet, start working on it. And you can do that either through automation or you can do that manually. Either way, it's got to happen. So let's scroll down a little bit. The About Me section is a very, very important part of your LinkedIn. It needs to be well written. It needs to explain what you do, who you are, and why someone should, again, want to work with you. You see right here that there is kind of almost like some landing page content over here that helps helps a person who's looking at this profile understand like what exactly Jess is going to do for them. And this goes with what she said earlier. Design your LinkedIn profile in a way where your target audience looks at it and knows that you're the right person to connect with. That's really key. Any thoughts on this, Jess?
Yeah, so this is a really good tip for business owners as well, and it does work for job seekers too. But basically, I structured this About Me on purpose because I want people to say yes in their head. So as soon as they read the About Me, it's like, I'm tired of endless job searches. Yes, I'm tired of that. I'm tired of submitting dozens of applicants. Yes, I'm tired of that. Because when a person says yes, 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 it gets them in the mindset. It's a known sales tactic that you want people to say yes. That's why a lot of people will start their calls with, this is how we're going to go about the call today. Does that sound good to you? And you say yes, because then it puts you in this like frame of mind of like, oh yes, I like this person. Yes, I'm in a positive mind frame now. So I did it on purpose to get people to say, yes, 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 this sounds like me. Because once they start resonating with you, you're already halfway to the sale. So as a business owner, this is a really good format that you can take and use for yourself. And as a job seeker, you still kind of want to do that. You want it that the recruiter is saying yes to you. The recruiter sees the value. And everyone also knows that storytelling, like our brains are literally wired for storytelling. It's part of why we dream at night. And so storytelling marketing really, really works. It really resonates. So use your About Me to tell a story about yourself, but make sure the story always answers the question, why do they care and how can you help them? So that's what I would put in an About Me section.
Wonderful. Yeah, and I'd say you did this well, which is why we're reviewing this profile as opposed to other ones, right? So services offered and top skills, like these are all things that should definitely be on your profile. If you're somebody who's a business owner, you definitely need to have this outlined. And if you're a candidate looking for a job, you should have this outlined. Part of one of the videos we shot, I recommend creating an offer sheet, writing down all the different skills and services you provide. All of them should be included in your LinkedIn profile so that people see that you do provide different skill sets and awesome things for companies to take advantage of. So I think this is a really good example of that. There's a featured page that you can create in your profile. Ideally speaking, like you're going to always be building a case for why you're valuable, right? And so some of the cases for that is like you could have videos with subject matter expertise. You could have blogs that you write, right? So right now, what you're seeing on this page is that Jess has multiple blogs and different links that you can follow on the profile that are going to lead you to other content pieces that she's writing that emphasize the value of what she's accomplished, right?
And these are publications that I was featured in, but if you obviously are not the person that has these type of publications, that's fine because you can write your own. So you can write a LinkedIn article and then you can link it as a featured article. So you don't have to be featured like I was. You could just write your own articles or your own blog posts and you can link them here as well.
That's right. Yep. Awesome. So yeah, I mean, this is just kind of scratching the surface here, right? Like everything in this video is just kind of LinkedIn optimization basics. For a lot more of the details, of course, you would want to work with us and get a lot of our, special tips and tricks on how to optimize this to the fullest. But this is just the basics, right? These are things that you want to be doing. Jess does a really good job of posting. This is something that you should also be doing if you're a job seeker or a business owner. You need to be posting your views on things. You need to be, putting yourself out there. There are certain people out there, and I used to be one of them, that just doesn't believe in posting as often. But over time, like what we've seen is that when you build a really good brand on LinkedIn and you post often with really valuable insights, people are going to connect with you more frequently. People are going to either identify or maybe have different opinions on things, and they're more likely to reach out to you, or you can build a relationship with people through those events. Posting and commenting on people's posts, like this is something I recommend anyone spend about an hour a day doing. It's very helpful for your relationship building on the platform, and it actually kind of brings some of the human back into networking, which has become so transactional and inhuman today. And by the way, when someone comments or likes your post, that's a license for you to talk with them. Like actually reach out to those people and say, hey, how you doing? Thank you so much for liking my post, and start chatting with them. Like I think that's a great license and an invitation to just start talking. So let's do it. Let's make that happen.
Does so much for it, because content, one, it's SEO. Two, all social media platforms want you to stay on their platforms forever and never leave. That's the point. So if you're posting content, they know you're using the platform. So then they're going to push your content out to more and more people. So that's like insanely valuable for anyone, because if you're a job seeker, it'll push your content out to more and more hiring managers. If you're a business, it'll push your content out to more and more potential clients. Like I've literally built a 6-figure business off of LinkedIn, basically only. LinkedIn and Facebook are the two that have built my whole business. And it happens where I post things and then people say, hey, I saw your post and I'm really interested. Can I book a meeting with you? And then I get the deal. So don't underestimate the value of content because of all those things. SEO, the fact that LinkedIn will love you for it, and the fact that it builds trust and credibility because it shows that you're smart. It shows that you're an expert. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm a job seeker, so why would I need to post content? Like I don't need new clients. No, because it still builds the trust and credibility with hiring managers. It gives you stuff to talk about in the interview. It pushes out your content to more and more hiring managers. So even as a job seeker, it is extremely valuable in today's market.
Indeed. I agree with everything you just said. And, for a long time, LinkedIn was the only way that I was actually generating clients. I was literally closing multiple, 20 to 30K deals using just my LinkedIn in and of itself. Right. So LinkedIn is very powerful. It can generate you a lot of money, and it can be a placeholder for a website on a temporary basis. I don't recommend it long term, but some people actually do get by with just a LinkedIn and a Facebook account. So it's not out of the question for you, but definitely great advice that Jess is giving. Now, experience, I do advise this level of detail, right? Jess is kind of explaining what the company does and what she's doing as a business owner. I think that's important. You don't want to just post your experience with no type of information as to what was going on here, what was your role. Be as specific as you possibly can. You can even get more granular than this and just kind of list all of the different skills that you employed when you were working there. For SEO purposes and for the sake of just clarity, so people understand who is this person, what did they do, and this is very well done here by Jess in the experience section. Before I move on to education, volunteering, I know we're coming up on the 20-minute mark. Did you have any further comments on experience, or did you feel like that was pretty straightforward, Jess?
No, it's straightforward. Do you want to treat your experience section similar to your resume, where you really want to lead with action? So not just oh, I'm a good leader. Show how you were a good leader, led a team in XYZ that resulted in ABC. So you really want numbers, stats, the way you reduce things. And also, once again, SEO. So any type of keywords of jobs that you're looking for, your type of clients, you try to add in a few SEO terms as well. But really the most important is showing how you led, not just saying I'm a leader, not just saying, oh, I'm a hard worker. Show how you did that. Great.
Yep. I agree with that. Education is pretty straightforward, but some people leave some parts of their education off. I don't recommend that. Put everything you've done. Put everything that you feel is counts as education. So so that way the full range of your experiences in terms of learning are captured and potentially identified as a good match for what you're applying for or what you're trying to accomplish. Volunteering, believe it or not, this is really just kind of world. This is what I believe in and am passionate about outside of my job. right? So like obviously Jess cares a great deal about helping people with finding work and helping clients grow their business. But on top of that, she's also volunteering and giving herself for free to philanthropical endeavors, right? And so if this is something that you're not doing, if you don't put on your volunteering work and things that you're passionate about, you could be missing out on some really good conversations. I've actually, as a business owner, looked for people that volunteer in some of the same ways that I do, because that's actually a great way of synergizing with them. So in a very similar sense, or it's just a good commonality to have, right? Like you want to also be connecting with and building relationships with people who care about things beyond themselves. And this is what this, implies, right? Like with any type of volunteering work, you're doing things that go beyond you. You're serving a bigger purpose. You're feeding the hungry. You're ministering to veterans. Helping with hospice care or other like cancer research, whatever it is that you're volunteering to do, even if it's just working with kids, like all those things show that you have a much bigger purpose in life than just making money and being an employee or a business owner, right? So volunteering is definitely something I recommend you put all of your volunteering work if you can. Skills.
And that reminds me to update it because I was volunteering yesterday. So I'm like, oh, I forgot to add my new volunteering.
There you go. Yeah, add all of your stuff. Like, yeah, don't hesitate. Every little thing that you do from a volunteering standpoint shows that you're a human being with much more on your mind than just making money. And I think that's important. It speaks to a greater, deeper dimension of who you are. Skills. I think we've talked a little bit about that before. Definitely put all of them on. Try to get endorsed by as many people in your network as you can for different skills that you have. And try to max out on your skills. I'd say that's the one critique I have of your profile, Jess, is you definitely have more than 28 skills. So you could add like 50 if you wanted, But yeah, like
True.
max out on those. Definitely do as much as you can to make sure that people are seeing your qualifications. And being a business owner, sometimes it doesn't really matter as much having these things filled out. But as a job seeker, you definitely got to have your skills maxed out. So that way you match up in the algorithm, the LinkedIn algorithm, with some of the job postings that are out there. Recommendations, you always want these. And Jess has some good ones. Get in the habit, if you're an employee or a business owner, asking for these. Get in the habit of asking for as many as you possibly can. Like, you want people to speak well of you. You want there to be constant people who are always like, believing in you and saying great things about you. And so the way you do that is by serving them and giving them the best of yourself. And when you do, you get comments like this. I absolutely recommend Jessica. She's knowledgeable, always meets deadlines, and is a pleasure to work with. That comes from great experience, right? She's not just saying this, she experienced it, and she's putting this on here because she believes in Jessica. Same here with Craig, right? Dedicated and hardworking, knows digital marketing and drives real results. Loved working with her. Don't miss the opportunity, right? So the more people you have saying this kind of a thing about you on your LinkedIn profile, trust when I say, like, you will have more people that are willing to give you a chance because they see that you are highly recommended. I have probably about 26, I think 25 or 26 recommendations on my LinkedIn page. I could be wrong on the number, but I'm somewhere.
Yeah, you do it way better than me. We should show your profile for the recommendations.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll go to my profile real quick. We don't want to spend too much time on here because I know that people don't have time to watch a 30-minute video. But essentially, what you want is you want to have a ton of recommendations that all are just like congruent. They're all saying mostly the same thing, that you're a pleasure to work with, that you're highly competent at what you do. These are all people that I've worked with and helped in one way or another. And if you want to read these, you can obviously go to my profile and read them. But yeah, these are all people that I've helped to place and helped to, build their business. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm thankful for every single one of these people. But yeah, that kind of concludes our time today in terms of LinkedIn advice. For more LinkedIn advice, please do hit us up directly. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can also, of course, just email us at Adonis at jobstreamai@gmail.com. And Jess, same thing. You can find her on our website and find us on the website. So get in touch with us. We'll see you on the other side.